Hi coaches, this is Deborah Basca, and today I wanted to talk to you about follow-up. Follow-up is, as they say, the fortune is in the follow-up. And following up with what you do in your business, with the people that you talk to, is going to be key to your success as a Beachbody coach. And unfortunately, I think sometimes follow-up is one of those things that kind of falls in the frog category. They're one of those things that we're kind of afraid to do because we don't want to be seen as pushy. And I'm going to give you some tips on how I follow up, and I don't think anybody, so far, nobody has told me that I'm pushy. In fact, a lot of customers actually say the reason that they chose me as their coach is because I was not pushy. So, if we're going about following up with people, let's talk about the invite process in the challenge groups. So, you send your first step invite. You basically ask people, you send them a message and say, would you like to be a part of my challenge group? If you don't hear back from that person, a lot of times I will get questions from you all saying, when do you follow up with that person if they don't respond to your first step? Well, if they don't respond to my first step, I don't follow up with them. There's really nothing to follow up with. They haven't expressed any interest. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to invite them again, because in fact, I invite people on my list over and over. I wait a few months and I come back and I, say, hey, are you ready to do it now? Because you never know when somebody's going to be ready. So, you send a step one. If they don't respond, move on. Now, if they have responded and they say, yeah, I'm interested, tell me more, I move on to step two and I start forming them. So, the first thing we do when we form, we don't start giving information, we start asking for information. So what happens if you ask them, well, I would like to tell you more about the challenge, but I'd really like to know more about what your fitness goals are. Can you tell me about that? What do you do if they don't respond? When do you follow up? The rule of thumb with follow-ups is 24 to 48 hours. So on a step two, if, they've said, yeah, tell me more, and I ask them a question back, I'll probably wait a couple of days if they haven't responded to my inquiry for more information. And then I will follow up with them and ask, hey, are you still there? Are you still, interested in this challenge? Because I really for me to help you, I really need to know what you're looking for. And I'll leave it at that. The more interested the person is, so as we start moving through the process, through step two, step three, and to step four, the more interested they are, the more frequent my follow-ups are going to be. So let's say I have somebody that has gone through the process and says, yes, I'm interested, I want in, I've shared the information with them, told them what they need to do, and they said yes. And then all of a sudden, it's time to order, and now it's crickets chirping. One of the things that I do, I send my follow-ups, hey, are you still there? I try to create a sense of urgency, so I will ask them, did you want me to still hold that space for you in my challenge group, or should I release it to somebody else? Or I may create a sense of urgency by asking them, by pointing out, hey, our group starts in a week, and I want to make sure you have what you need, so you need to get your order in today. Will you be able to do that? I always want to end with a question, because when you ask a question, it a lot of times makes us feel like we need to respond. If you just end with a statement, you need to get your order in today, no response required. Okay, so you really want to try to always end with a question, because you want to invite that response. Another way I might try to create a sense of urgency is I might offer something special. I might offer, if for people placing their orders today, I'm sending, a shaker cup or, a P90X bar, a sample pack or something like that. That's another way to create a sense of urgency. But at the end of the day, I hear a lot of you say, well, I get people to a certain point and then they don't even respond anymore. If somebody has truly expressed interest in your challenge group or in being a coach, either one, then the last ditch follow-up that I use is, I totally don't want to be a pain, but I totally don't want to be a pain, but I know you were really interested in the challenge group, and I just wanted to make sure that I've given you all the information that you need to get started. You know, are you ready? Are you still interested? What I've found happens is when you say, I totally don't want to be a pain, people are nice and they want to reassure you. So a lot of times, even when they haven't been responding to your previous follow-ups, when you do that, they will respond because they're going to want to reassure you that you aren't being a pain. And then they will tell you why they haven't been responding. Oh no, you're totally not being a pain. I appreciate your follow-up, but my car broke down. I had to buy new tires. But my son's been sick and I've just been, dealing with that. But I got laid off from my job and now things have all changed. But they'll tell you what's going on, and that's what you want. You want to elicit that conversation. You want to keep forming. You want to know more about what's going on with them because that allows you to form a relationship. And then you can come back and you can be empathetic, and maybe you say, well, gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that, and I totally understand. And maybe you agree that you will follow up with them with the next challenge group. At the end of the day, you would rather know what's going on. You would rather know that it's a no or a not now or a follow up with me later than just get no response. So I think a lot of times what I'm seeing is people are afraid to follow up because they don't want to be pushy. Again, when you follow up in the manner I've suggested, people aren't going to find you being pushy. Always follow up in a very kind, in a very empathetic manner. Gosh, I know that I know you've been swamped with work, but I know, I really, if you want to be in the group, I just want to make sure that you have what you need to get started. You always approach it from their needs, not from yours. The other thing with follow-ups is I think a lot of times you wear out before the customer does. And what I mean by that is, you would be surprised at how many times I follow up with somebody. If somebody says they're going to order this weekend, I'll send them a message on Friday and say, hey, are we still on for Saturday? You ready to get that, I'm so excited to have you join my group. So I'll kind of send them a reminder that they said they were going to order this weekend. And then if I don't see the order this weekend, I'm going to follow up with them first thing on Monday morning. If they tell me they're going to order tonight when they get home from work, if I don't see it when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to follow up and I'm going to ask, hey, I didn't see your order come through. I just wanted to make sure everything went okay and that there weren't any glitches. I don't usually say, hey, did you get your order placed? I didn't see it. Or why didn't you order? I'm going to assume that they did what they said they were going to do and that maybe something went wrong and I need to follow up with it because you never know. It could happen. So, again, with follow-ups, I always want to try to approach it from the customer's perspective. And the other thing that I do, too, with follow-ups is when I send that, I totally don't want to be a pain, but, I'm a coach. And this is how I help you is by making sure that, I have your health and fitness top of my mind, even when you're super busy. So, again, that's what we are. We're coaches. It is our job. That's why people need us, is because we do have their health and fitness top of our mind, even when it's not always top of theirs. And people appreciate that. They appreciate, again, if they could make fitness and health a top of their priority list every day, they probably wouldn't need a coach. So think about it that way too, that they need you because they need you to be a reminder, to be a motivator, to be an encourager, to do the things that they need to do. And so at the end of the day, in regards to follow-ups, you can't be afraid to follow up. You do it in a kind manner, in an empathetic manner. You create relationships. You let it build relationships. And the other thing that I always do too is whenever we get to the point where it's determined that this person, the prospect, isn't able to do the challenge group now, or they tell me a no or not now, I always leave the conversation with a positive no. I don't ever just let it end with them telling me, no, I can't do it now. I always want it to end with me telling them, thanks for letting me know. I'm so glad that you're working on, you're running and you're working on your health and fitness, or I totally understand. I always want them to know it's okay to tell me no, because that's how we sustain the relationship. If they are afraid to, because we're always afraid to tell people no. So a lot of times we'll avoid it. I want them to know it's okay, that I'm still here, that I'm still going to be your friend. I'm not going anywhere. We still have a relationship. It's deeper than just whether or not you're going to be my customer. So I hope that you made some notes about how I follow up and some of the phrases that I use 24 to 48 hours. If anybody's giving you encouragement, which it means, again, they've said, yes, I'm interested, tell me more, at some point in the process, then you need to follow up with that person until they tell you no or not now, or until you're absolutely getting no response. If you do that kind of last ditch, I totally don't want to be a pain, but, and they don't respond to that, then I kind of let it go. I'll come back to them in a few months. I hope this was helpful. Making follow-ups, put it on. It's part of your to-do list. Do not avoid them. Embrace them, because these are people that have given you some kind of a maybe. So go after those maybes and turn them into yeses. Have a great day.